Today, folks, we're diving down into a company that is trying to disrupt one of the fastest growing staple industries in the world. Of course, one of my favorite being coffee. How many of you woke up this morning to make your cup of joe with one of those espresso machines or those little plastic pods? You put it in, makes delicious coffee, you throw it away, and you don't even think too much about it. As we're well aware, the world is heading into renewables and recyclables, and the company we're about to take a look at is government-backed as they're trying to disrupt this industry in the coffee market, just being these plastic pods, as they're claiming they have patented technology in recyclable pods. The company is called Nexi Innovations and trades under the ticker symbol NEXE on the CVE. And before you click off this video, when this company reached out to me, I said, heck yes, I want to do a quick overview because their marketing is on point. Take a listen.
There's only one thing I hate more than coffee. It's being lied to by an adult.
What do I gotta do to make this a deal for you, huh?
So when I heard about some so-called compostable single-serve coffee pods not being compostable at all, I got pretty pissed and went to check things out for myself. I ended up at this industrial composting place. This guy knows a lot about composting.
Yeah, I do.
Turns out he's legit. I learned that to be truly compostable, a pod has to degrade in a really short time. If not, it gets screened out and sent to a landfill. Come on, people! I asked him if any pods make it through and actually get composted. He pointed to a company called Nexi Innovations. So I wanted to learn more about this Next company, so I chased down this guy. Who are you?
My name's Darren Foots.
What do you do here?
I make compostable packaging.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Are you lying to me?
No, I'm not. Wow, you're tough.
He told me some stats. 40 billion pods go to landfills every year. They take 10,000 years to break down in soil. All that is what made Aaron want to change things. Listen to this. His coffee pods are made from plants, so they break down quickly. Fast enough to be processed and turned into compost. Finally, some good news. His facility is awesome. The Next team showed me all their crazy machines. This one has a really weird name. This one makes a really cool sound. It's taken Next Innovations over 5 years to perfect. Why? Because it was so hard to make a material that can stand up to heat, water, and pressure all at the same time without ruining the coffee. That's why. But he's finally nailed it. The plan is to make it work for a lot of other products too. The environment is a huge deal to all of us, so I wanted to share with you guys what I learned here today so you can make the right choice when brewing coffee. Me? I'll stick with water, thanks.
Welcome back, passive income investors. Now I'm going to go over everything in this video as this company tries to rethink what is possible and disrupt a multi-billion-dollar industry. Now, I am going to expose you to the risks that come with buying into these kind of investments and where this company is looking to be in the future. But let's get right into this by diving down into their event presentation, at which they're claiming the global coffee consumption market is currently worth about $155 billion, with the U.S. at-home coffee market is set to grow by 4.9% in 2020, reaching about $15.6 billion. 44% of the U.S. coffee demand comes from millennials, which I can 100% attest to. And the global coffee pods and capsule market is expected to reach roughly $29.2 billion by 2025 here, folks. And with the history of commitment going through this timeline, stepping back all the way to 2015 when Nexi was originally conceptualized by the founder and coffee veteran Darren Foots, and a single-serve coffee pod business was already booming, yet consumers continued to choose convenience over environment. Now, fully compostable, however, it was only the emergence of new plant-based material and forming technologies like 3D printers that propelled Foots to pursue a 100% plant-based coffee pod. Now, plant-based challenges after discovering that plant-based materials fall apart under heat and pressure, the road ahead remained challenging, but the Nexi team persevered. Now, the pilot and automation. As pilot equipment was tested, considerable new challenges emerged. It would take a whole new production team and over 1.5 years to successfully advance the commercialization, which where we get to today in the Nexi pod is being commercialized with plans to rapid scale to 220 million pods, Nexi is aiming to develop other plant-based innovations in other verticals using the many lessons they learned over the last 5 years. Now let's continue on here, guys, because we're going to start learning about some of their patents, but they're saying these single-serve coffee pods make up 50% of all coffee consumed right now, and that's kind of debatable, but everywhere I go, I know a lot of people that are using these. I do use these as well, however, and they were saying that there's an 8.5% compound growth rate here, folks, and just taking a look at the collaborations and partnerships, which, by the way, they are doubling the expansion of the current facility, which exists in BC, and we're going to take a look at some of the financing round and the current capital they have on hand, but just taking a look at the collaborations and partnerships they currently have with the NSERG. I'm not 100% certain of what that one is, but we got the Canadian government, Canadian NRC, the UBC. So with the Canadian government, especially, not including the US, which now has, you know, Biden coming into the presidency, that's more about renewables, sustainability, it's likely that we're going to see a continuation in the growth of these kind of sectors of the market, which many of you know I've tapped into on multiple different fronts. And especially here in Canada, guys, considering we have what is called carbon tax, the government is basically pinning down on anything gasoline related. They're investing in renewables, and now they're clearly helping and partnering up with companies just like this, which also gives a little bit more confidence moving forward. But taking a look at their value creation, the flexible monetization strategy, which is business model and earnings, strategic choices, platform process methodology, sales and products and licensing, and then finally probably licensing to some of these conglomerates that'll hopefully replace the plastic pods they're using and going into these kind of recyclable pods. But this is where we're going to start talking about some of the risks that come into play with this. This company is currently in growth spurt modes. They have a ton of patents right now, but as I told you guys, patent companies come with a load of risks because they don't have a proven business model. Obviously, with the advertising they have, you know, the government backing and where they've kind of what they've accomplished already, which is pretty incredible, I must say. But they've been able to raise in financing as of December 2020 about $14.6 million with an available cash on hand of about $3.7 million. Can't throw any direct numbers around because, again, these are growth companies, pre-revenue, a lot of risk comes into play. And one of my biggest concerns with this company, if I'm being 100% honest here, guys, is what are the cost of these pods? I was digging around, and clearly they're trying to lower cost and scale. That seems to be their primary focus right now as they expand their facilities. But then you have to ask yourself, what are these coffee pods costing right now versus the plastic version? When can the margins go up enough and the costs come down enough that it'll actually be enticing and it'll offer the incentive for these other companies to partner with the patents that this company currently has with their manufacturing? But the fact that they're scaling up manufacturing to hundreds of millions of pods is a pretty good sign, which means clearly they know something once they get to scale, which is kind of putting the risk in the management hands, presuming that they know a little bit more than I do. And I wish they kind of clarified some of these numbers a little bit more strategically, because I can kind of go over everything we just talked about. They really lay it out well on one sheet, but at the end of the day, guys, we're talking about dollars and cents here. So I'm going to just read you one more bull thesis. As Principles of Wealth Research Group believe that this could turn out to be one of the most successful companies that we've ever featured on this page. So pay attention. In our opinion, it checks out a wide range of items in several categories that both value and growth sectors look at. To our knowledge, anyways, in 2020, we profiled one company that had similar characteristics and whose share price appreciated by over 700% from the IPO to the year end. Nothing is guaranteed by any means that this recipe will lead to the same dish, but I want to show you some stats and some facts. So they're saying that there aren't many high margin beverages that are consumed daily or even a few times per day. Coffee is a unique consumer product. I don't like kind of cross-referencing here. This article is extremely bullish, and I always recommend that you do your own due diligence here, guys. And everything this article mentioned kind of summarizes what we just went to. So if you truly understand the value behind being able to begin mass selling what could be the only fully compostable coffee pot on planet Earth, as far as management is aware, the scope of this could become instantly apparent. 5 years and $35 million have been spent to this point. And just taking a look one more time at the stock to finish up here, guys. Currently, it's only trading up 442%. Clearly, there was some hype probably around their advertising that led the stock up to about 1,000%. But dig around the company. I'm adding this to my watch list. And I really love the coffee market, guys, and I've been trying to find a way to enter into it, and this could be potentially one of those ways, but I have a hard time stomaching pre-revenue companies. But again, guys, we're talking about something that hasn't exactly been disrupted yet, that is government-backed. So this is going to be a fascinating play to see how this evolves moving forward. And like I said, I'm going to keep my eyeballs glazed open because I yet to have bought into Starbucks or any coffee-making company, and I would love to add something to my portfolio. So in light of all this, I pass the question off to you. Let me know what you think in that comment section below, but stay cool, stay awesome, and I look forward to catching you guys tomorrow.